Well, the Federal High Court in Abuja faced the possibility of indefinitely adjourning the trial of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the proscribed Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB. On Wednesday, Justice Binta Nyako issued a threat when Kanu's lawyer, Aloy Ejimakor, indicated that the legal team wasn't prepared for the trial. The federal government had kicked against conditions submitted for the resumption of his trial after hearing arguments. Justice Nyako postponed ruling on the matter. Ejimakor highlighted Kanu's continued detention in the DSS facility, suggesting it could hinder the court's ordered speedy trial. But Kanu claimed that the DSS was giving him medication, trying to manage his health so he doesn't die in their custody. And well, if this in the first place, Barrister Henry Ikine, in the first place, why has this lingered for so long when we've had varying court judgments? Some have said, why did you extradite this man from, back to the country? The way and manner that was done was unlawful and he should be allowed to go. Some have said, okay, the last time he was allowed to walk away, he jumped bail and ran away. So we want to retain him in the country until every other thing is done. Now, but the issue now is, how much longer does the law permit for a man like Nnamdi Kanu to remain in custody? Well, that's a question I would like the barrister to answer, but unfortunately, we have lost network connection to the barrister. So I'm just going to come to Dr. Ganiu now. Let me ask you this one. Now, with what is going on with the Nnamdi Kanu case, doesn't it seem like the government is afraid of something, of letting the man go? Is this how justifiable is this particular threat that, look, you might be held indefinitely?
You see, for me, that is also a wrong threat that should be coming from a judge of that caliber. Why will you hold somebody indefinitely? Even if his lawyer pissed you off, you should be able to have some level of decorum. You see, even in line with our laws, somebody should not have stayed trial up to that. Before you just sentence him. If he's to go to, you shouldn't have kept him for so long. It's even against the law of the country, right? There was a bill that was given to him in 2017. You came and the bill was revoked, right? So does it mean that the judge that gave the judgment, it's not well read, it's not well detailed, it doesn't have the jurisdiction, or it doesn't have the powers to be able to give the judgment, right? Why do we revoke it? Why are we still keeping it, right? So all these things needs to come to be, right? And you said that, oh, this man will escape judgment. They say, put him in house arrest. And the question is that why will somebody, and he gave an instance, Zak, the guy was...
Zaki.
So Zambo was also given a... So the question is that it's not like this man this thing that was given house arrest and he flew out of the country, right? You could see that there's a collusion. The binance man. You could say that this is a collusion. There's no how you give me an house arrest unless I want to disappear. Right? So all these things needs to be put into proper perspective. No. You should not be holding someone against his will without even giving proper judgment.
Is this an intentional act by the government, not just this government, because the former government under the administration of former President Buhari also did the same? Is this an indication that our government does not obey court orders?
So we will see that it's not just now. And you just see that they say that some people, they are above the law. Right? Why would the court of higher jurisdiction give its judgment and it's been overturned. So we are even saying that there is a segregation and separation of power. We have the judiciary, we have the executive, and we have the legislative. And in practice, it's not like that, right? Because if they are actually separated, right, why would they give a judgment and there's no power to enforce it? The police are to enforce what the court has given. So this man, if he's still, you have something against, and he even says that, give him a judgment, let's see where he is. It's not that holding him in the DSS custody for a longer time. And we also believe that since this current government, they are in power, they are more democratic. They are not a military rule or stuff. They should be able to treat his case ASAP and be able to allow him go if need be. And if there's no need, there's no reason for him to be, then sentence him to jail. Let him go to jail. So holding him indefinitely does not even make sense in line with our laws.
All right, now looking at what he said, or rather what Aloy Ejimakor, his counsel, actually said in the court that made them to, or that made the judge, Binta Nyako, Justice Nyako says she's going to, adjourn the case indefinitely. He was of the opinion that, I'm talking about Aloy now, he was demanding that the bail granted him earlier be restored to enable him prepare for his defense. That's one. He also claimed that the bail was, revoked based on a false and fraudulent claim of the federal government. And they also requested that setting aside of the arrest warrant issued against him based on allegation by government that he had jumped bail and escaped of the country will also be taken out. Now, my question is, these demands that the counsel of Nnamdi Kanu brought before Justice Binta Nyako, are they really vexatious? Because that was what the counsel representing federal government was saying when he came up to say those conditions actually are vexatious. They don't stand any they don't even stand in gap. Like they should take it out and just go on with what they are doing.
So for me, vexation is relative. It depending on the mood of the person.
But are we going to bring in emotions?
So
and mood
the question is also, in your line of duty, you must be able to separate emotion, right? That is maturity. You must be able to separate emotion from your line of duty. So you must not throw caution into the wind because there's somebody that offends. Even in the court, when they're discussing, it's normal for a lawyer to annoy you because he's defending his client. He needs to be paid for his duty, right? That's why you see a judge will say that, we say that it's sustained or overruled. The objection sustained or objection overruled.
So basically, emotion should be out of
it should be completely out of the line of engagement. Even in duty in a corporate world, you should not use emotion. It's just like talking to a boss and your boss says that, oh, I feel like slapping you. You understand? And he raised his hands and slapped you. That is against the civics and of your job's life. So you should not even have come to that area and say that. Even the Ejimakor should say that, oh, because of what happened, he is proposing that the judge should step aside because there's an emotion. Yes, he could propose because with that emotion, he or she could give a judgment that is against his client.
With those emotions.
With that emotion, because and once it's at the Supreme Court, you see the power wield there that a decision owed. So at that point in time, once I know that there are reservations, I have a reservation that this one, because there must be fairness, there must be fairness, there must be equity, and there must be justice. And once I notice that this person that is to decide or judicate against my case will not be fair enough, so I also have the right to say that I demand that this person
be relieved of the case.
Step aside and let us give another person that will show fairness in his decision.
Let me ask you this question now. What is the major difference? Is there any difference between the issue of Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday Igboho? They are both secessionists asking for liberation of their people. One has been, apprehended from outside the country, as both of them actually were brought in while they were, trying to run away, so to speak. And one has served his term and has been let off the hook, while the other is still being kept in custody.
The major difference, you see, mostly we thought it's Nnamdi Kanu that does this, or perhaps there is a nexus between Nnamdi Kanu and Samuel Ekpa.
Okay.
Jojo get it, because this is the guy that is just running his mouth, and he's even saying that
Kanu has come to say
he has 15,000 soldiers that come off it, right? And you see the major difference there is that for Sunday Igboho, nobody was killed in Oyo State. Nobody was killed in the South. Nobody is actually fighting for him. You did not hear killing, no, because they believe that. You see the Southwest, or in the East, the place is more or less like a dead zone.
But now there's the ideology that if he is let out, in fact, he has said that if he's released in 2 minutes, the trouble in the Southeast will cease.
But remember, he also said that he has no relationship with it.
IPOB,
It does not. It's not linked with him. That those people are just on their own, and it's the same person that says that release me in 2 days. So which means that
2 minutes.
in 2 minutes, and it's not possible. Before you drive there, 2 minutes is there. You understand? But which means that there are nexus, there are connections, right? So if you are saying that, it does not have a link with me. Another time you said, just release me. I'm going to allow everything will die off.
It could be, okay, I don't have a link with these ones perpetrating this evil, but I have people that I can talk to, that can talk to them and make them cease fire and lay down arms.
But with the look of things now, you say those things are even going out of hands. Even the government cannot curtail, their governor cannot curtail them.
But what do you think will happen if he's kept in custody indefinitely?
My question is that why are they still holding him? For crying out loud. He's a citizen, even a foreigner entered Nigeria, and you allow him to go.
Was he allowed? Or he escaped?
Did he disappear?
Well, he ran away.
Or when we were growing up, there's these people that hold their nose and they just disappear like that. Right? You still remember those guys, right?
Yeah.
You understand?
But are we going to blame the security agencies in Nigeria because Ibori did the same from abroad?
That's where we say that. You see, in a sane society, all those security, they will be jailed.
Sorry, Alamesia, right?
Yes, all those people in charge of his custody will be jailed, because it will be so that there's aiding and abetting. There's collusion somewhere. There's no how. Is it going? He drove to the airport. At the airport, he bought a flight. Right? It's not that something just took him away. You understand? There are network, there are nexus, all these things. If it's been investigated, do we hear about it again? Do we hear them investigating the police people that are in charge of his custody? He went to pray, and from there he disappeared. Right? So all these things needs to be tracked. I am of the opinion that the man has stand is overdue. He has started trial for a longer time. Even Al-Zazaki we are talking about, the man has been left at home. Even if you are in your house, you sleep on your bed, you eat what you want to eat, they just give you a house arrest. They will not be in your sitting room. They will not sit with you, right? They should allow him to go.
So do you think that the May 20th day that Justice Binta Nyako fixed to be the day that they will decide whether he'll be leaving the DSS custody or whether he will still be there? Do you think actually that there will be a ruling in favor of Nnamdi Kanu to leave the DSS?
For me, let me talk like a layman.
Okay.
With the attitude that the justice has displayed, I think they should just allow her to step down, to step aside, because emotions are stepped in, right? And once emotion is a powerful force that can override your sense of judgment, right? They should just allow her to step aside and say, let us allow someone else to take the seat, and let us close this thing once and for all. Because at that point in time, any judgment she might give, she might be seen to be biased, right? Because of the disposition of Kanu's lawyer, make her annoyed, and because of that, she can also might not give judgment in favor of the man, right? So I think the man is overdue. And if you want to also serve in line with our constitution, we talk about fairness, equity, and justice. He also have the right to say he's not the only judge, he's not the only person that is a justice of the Supreme Court. Okay. He has the right to say that, oh, this man also said that, oh, I think this judge will be biased. Can you please let him step aside and another person take over the case?
Now, because we're pressed for time, let's have your concluding thoughts. You can merge the topics together, both the first and the second, and give us your concluding thoughts on everything.
Okay. I will say that our leaders, just like we always say, they are not there forever. Either 4 years or 8 years, it will lapse, right? Why not do the right thing and not be running helter-skelter? Very soon now, even that of the issue of the Goyaya Bello, it will still be visited. It's going to come to, then the question is that, will there be fairness in his judgment? Will it be swept under the carpet? Will it be another case of off your mic? We don't know, right? But the question is that, let's treat everybody equally. The way you are going to give him judgment, give another person judgment in that line of action.
How does it make you feel that, in times past, there was this ideology that once you are a member of the APC, your sins are forgiven. But now we are seeing cases where, albeit ex-governors and, are being made to answer for crimes that they may have committed.
The question is, there's a difference between answering a question and the difference between being prosecuted. Were they being prosecuted? This might also be, okay, let's pass through the process. Don't worry. At the long run, it will be in your favor. You don't get it. Has any one of them been prosecuted? Has any one of them been jailed? Has any one of them been sentenced? Which we also ask as a positive statement. Right? But nothing has happened to any one of them. In the long run, somehow, some way, the whole thing will just nosedive.
Okay, before you peg your final thoughts, there are some quarters that have said the Southeasterners seem to be marginalized, and of course, judgment doesn't look to come their favor in regards to this Nnamdi Kanu issue. Examples are not far, from being first. Bandits, terrorists, Boko Haram, repentance have been integrated back into the system. These are guys that have killed. These are guys that have destroyed the economy. These are guys that have done so many mayhem. And yet, they say that they have repented. And one man is still in jail for what the Nigerian courts have already acquitted him of and granted him bail. Now, are you also of the opinion that this set of persons, the Southeasterners, are being marginalized to the point of not being given a fair hearing in any stance?
So it's also relative. If they belong to the ruling party, they will also enjoy it. Because, okay, Fayose escapes it, right? When you say Fayose talking and say, my friend is this person, forget or leave it. So because these are political things, right? Unless you don't belong to the class or caucus, that's when you will get your finger bumped. And for the Boko Haram, they took this from the amnesty that Jonathan gave to the people. And these are different things entirely. It's a different ball game entirely. This person, and you bring them in, the same people, they will sneak into the military force and they will also cause mayhem. Look at the one that happened in Borno. They even have the courage, the audacity, telling the governor that, hey, if you are not careful, we are going back. You understand? It shows that they are not actually repented. They just need something like a safe harbor to be able to escape and get their footing and create another issue. So the question is that, why can't we, and someone also, one of the ministers said that, oh, let them give them a better life. Then the question is that, so all the youths that have no job also, they will just decide to commit crime. And once they do it, because they know that there's a better life ahead of them. So we must be able to do something so that we don't create a bad precedent. And it does not encourage a wrong. Because what happened to Yahya Bello, it can become a precedent. So once somebody in the southwest and they discover, they will just, their loyalty will just, they'll just drive into the premises, hijack the person, and even because it's a place where flight can easily go, they can arrange the person to fly outside the country.
All right, then we are totally out of time, but we must say very big thank you to you, Dr. Kanu Oluwashola, managing partner, KJB Professional Services. We do appreciate you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
And we also had Barrister Henry Ikine, a human rights lawyer, on the show earlier. Unfortunately we lost connection to him. He was our virtual guest, but we also thank Barrister Henry Ikine for coming on the program. Well, we'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll continue with the program.
From the views on the streets
we go to bed empty hunger
to the blaring horn